Alright, this lesson is going to cover material in section C of the Unit 13 learning guide here. We're looking at expanding and simplifying. And what we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to combine together a few of the concepts that we've been working on over the past couple of sections. So we're going to take that distributive property that we worked on back in section A and combine it with that concept of collecting like terms and adding and subtracting polynomials that we worked on in the last section. And we're going to use the distributive property to expand expressions that involve brackets, and then we're going to simplify those resulting expressions by collecting the like terms. So just a little bit of a recap here. I've got a bunch of terms up here at the top. Remember that things like 6x squared and negative 3x squared are examples of what we call like terms. What makes these things like terms? They have the same variable part, x and x, with the same exponent, squared and squared. Same thing with 3xy and xy. They both have an x and a y, an x and a y, and the exponent on both the x's are the same. It's a 1 in both cases, and it's a 1 on both y's in the same case. So same variable, same exponent. And what we've been doing with these like terms is we have been combining them together because the only kinds of terms that you can add or subtract are like terms. So if we were given something like 6x squared plus 3xy minus 3x squared plus xy, we would first identify our like terms here, 6x squared and negative 3x squared, and positive 3xy and positive xy. And then we knew that we could combine those terms together by adding or subtracting the coefficients. So we would have 6x squared minus 3x squared plus 3xy plus 1xy. 6 minus 3 is going to give us 3x squared, and then 3 plus 1 is going to give us 4xy's. So how do we combine this with the distributive property? Well, if the instructions in the question say expand and simplify, expand means apply the distributive property, and simplify means identify and collect those like terms. So, for example, if we've got a question like 2x times 3x plus 1 plus 3 times x squared minus 5x, first thing we're going to do is apply that distributive property. Take this 2x and multiply it by each of the terms that are inside the brackets. So we're going to have a 2x times 3x, and because that 2x is positive, it's going to be plus 2x times 1. And then we're going to do the same thing with that second set of brackets. We've got a positive 3x, so it's going to be plus 3 times x squared, and then plus 3 times that negative 5x. And we can do that multiplication. 2 times 3 is going to give us 6. The x times the x gives us x squared, remembering to add those exponents. 2x times 1 is going to give us 2x. 3 times x squared, 3x squared. And 3 times negative 5x, negative 15x. Now, let's see if we can simplify this. Do we have any like terms? Sure we do. We have the 6x squared and the 3x squared, and then the 2x and the negative 15x. So, just putting those like terms next to each other to make them a little bit easier to combine. Then we're going to combine them together. So 6x squared plus 3x squared, 6 plus 3 gives us 9x squared. 2x minus 15x, so 2 minus 15 is going to be negative 13x. So our final answer, 9x squared minus 13x. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple more examples just to make sure we know what we're doing here. All right, so our next one here, we've got 2 times 3y minus 6 minus 5y times 2y minus 4. We've got a few more negative signs here, so we just have to remember those sign rules when we're doing the multiplication. So let's start off with 2 times 3y. Well, let's see, 2 times 3 is going to give us 6, so that's going to be 6y. And then 2 times negative 6 is going to give us negative 12. Next up, we want to treat this as negative 5y. So negative 5y times 2y. So negative 5 times 2 is going to be negative 10. And then y times y is going to give us y squared. And then negative 5y times negative 4. Well, negative times negative is going to give us positive. 5 times 4 is going to give us 20, and we're just going to have a y. And then let's look for like terms. We've got a 6y and we've got a 20y, a plus 20y, but those are the only like terms we have. So we'll combine those together. 6 plus 20, 26y, minus 12, minus 10, y squared. All right, and it doesn't matter how many terms we have in the brackets here. We're going to do these questions exactly the same way. So we've got 3x times x cubed plus 4x minus 7 minus 2x squared minus 3x squared plus 4x minus 5. Let's just take this step by step. First thing, distributive property. So we're going to have 3x, and we'll write out all the steps on this one, times x cubed plus 3x times 4x. That's this next step here, plus 3x times that negative 7. There's our distributive property for the first bracket. For the second bracket, it's going to be negative 2x squared times negative 3x squared. Then negative 2x squared, remember that sign always stays with that, that term that it's in front of. So negative 2x squared times 4x. And then again that negative 2x squared times negative 5. That's a lot of multiplication, but so 3, our coefficient here is going to be 3. 3 times 1 is just 1. We're going to keep the base the same, x, add the exponents. 1 plus 3 gives us 4. Next up, 3 times 4 gives us 12. Add the exponents, we're going to have x squared. Next up, 3x times negative 7, negative 21, 3 times negative 7, and we're just going to have an x. Next term, we've got a negative 2 and a negative 3, so when we multiply those, positive 6. Keep the base the same, add the exponents. 2 plus 2 is going to give us 4. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Keep the base the same, add the exponents. 2 plus 1 is going to give us 3. And finally, negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. And we're just going to have the x squared. Okay, let's find some like terms here. We've got an x to the power 4, an x to the power 4, x squared, and that's it for like terms. So 3x to the power 4 plus 6x to the power 4, 9x to the power 4. 12x squared plus 10x squared, 22x squared, and then the minus 21x and the negative 8x cubed don't have any like terms, so they're just going to stay exactly how they are. All right, I think I got one last example down here. So for this last one here, you might want to pause the video and try it on your own, and then come back and compare your answer to mine. So if you want to try that, just pause the video right now. Okay, let's take a look at how we do this. First off, we're going to need to do our distributive property. So 3x times x squared, 3x cubed. 3x times positive 5x plus 15x squared. X times x gives us x squared. 3 times negative 4, negative 12, and just a single x. This is a negative 2, so it's going to be negative 2 times x cubed, negative 2x cubed. Still negative 2 times negative 3x squared, so negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6x squared. Negative 2 times negative 6, positive 12. Our like terms. We've got cubes here and here. We've got a squared here and a squared here, so we can combine those together. 3x cubed minus 2x cubed is just going to give us an x cubed. 15x squared plus 6x squared is going to give us 21x squared minus 12x plus 12. So that is our final answer. So If you're able to do all of those, you are good to go on these practice or these self-check questions on page C2. These involve expanding and collecting like terms. Good luck.